Welcome to the Prophecy Club. I've got Andrew Bucchin with me today. This guy's got 15 years special ops behind him, also psychological ops, and he's founded several startup companies and also started an amp company. He's been with EMP Shield for 3 years. I've asked him to come on and explain to us about EMP Shield, as we've all been talking about. There's somewhere between 35 and 50 suitcase nukes secreted all across America. And based upon the prophecies, if they're accurate, I personally believe that they are, then probably the second half of this year, we can look for these suitcase nukes to go off. And if they go off, the EMP, or I'll let him explain that, but electromagnetic pulse can fry the computer chips in our cars and our homes, and we could be back in the Stone Age. So, Andrew, welcome to the Prophecy Club.
Thank you, Stan. I appreciate you having me on. And this is really going to help our mission of getting awareness out there for EMP.
Okay, so tell us about EMP. Maybe where do you want to start? What your mic sure is. What do you want to say?
Yeah, thanks, Stan. So it's important. The first thing that I really want to highlight. Number one, our mission is to try to get awareness out there for people to understand that electromagnetic pulse, or EMP, is a very real and very devastating weapon that is planned to be used against the United States. Unfortunately, this is very sad, but a lot of people, they may have seen the terminology electromagnetic pulse, or EMP, in a movie or in a science fiction book. And although it sounds good in the book, maybe they think that it's not real. And I'm here to highlight that this is an incredibly devastating weapon, that there is plans to be using these weapons against America. In fact, this is such a seriously devastating weapon and such a real weapon that the Department of Homeland Security projects that only 1 out of every 9 people 1 year after an EMP will still be alive, primarily due to a lack of running water and a lack of access to food, among a myriad of other things, which I'm sure we're going to discuss here in a little bit. An EMP weapon is something that is basically created by a nuclear weapon going off in the atmosphere. Although there is many other ways to do it, to include ground level methods. But primarily, the most devastating effect would be created by a nuclear weapon going off in the atmosphere. And the effects of it would reach up into Canada, all the way down into the northern portion of Mexico. That's how large this could be if it's detonated at around 300 miles above the earth. And if it's okay with you, Stan, what I'd kind of like to do is I'll explain generally how an EMP works, if that's okay, so that people understand how it would work. And then I'll kind of explain a little bit about the effects, and a little bit about how serious this is and why the government's involved in it. So when you're talking about a high altitude nuclear EMP, which is referred to as HEMP, the way it would work is that one of our adversaries, Russia, China, North Korea, Iran, any one of them would basically detonate a nuclear weapon above the atmosphere. And they say that we believe that the height is around 300 miles to give it that range that I just described. And so it could be done by launching a rocket into space at 300 miles from Russia, from Venezuela. It could also be launched from a satellite, or even some of these new hypersonic weapons platforms that we know Russia, China, and now North Korea are now testing and can release a payload of a nuclear weapon. And so what happens is, when that nuclear weapon goes off in the atmosphere, it actually goes out in all directions. So it's pushing outwards into space. It's also pushing downwards towards the earth. And what's happening is, and there's 3 phases. And during the first 2 phases, the gamma radiation and the matter from that blast are passing through the atmosphere as it's heading downwards towards the earth. And when the gamma radiation first passes through the atmosphere, it kicks off freed electrons. And they're basically going down at roughly the speed of light and inducing into everything at the ground level of the earth. In fact, just a regular nuclear weapon would create around 50,000 volts per square meter, which is a tremendous amount of energy. And this occurs in the first 2 phases, first from that gamma radiation, which is very fast from that nuclear blast going off. And then secondly, from the matter that follows that gamma radiation down towards the earth in a second wave, which is, the second wave is still a very high amount of energy, which is kind of almost like a huge amount of, almost like a lightning bolt, which is then going to strike simultaneously across the United States. What's important to highlight here in these first 2 phases is this is where everything that has microelectronics, transistors, resistors, diodes, microprocessors, anything with silicon arsenide is all going to be destroyed, or almost all going to be destroyed from these pulses that come down and induce into everything that's a conductor. And so what does that mean? That means that modern day vehicles are no longer going to function. You're not going to be able to live your daily life and go from point A to point B. That means that communication systems across the United States, like cell phone towers, your cell phone itself, your computer, it's all going to be destroyed. During these first two phases, things in the grid are also going to be destroyed. So the control systems of nuclear power plants and a myriad of different things that do have these transistors, resistors, diodes, and other things like silicon arsenide will all be destroyed. Your way of life as you know it will be completely changed forever. And that's the first two phases. There's also a third phase to EMP, which is when that blast, like I explained, goes outwards into space. And so around the Earth, we have the magnetosphere. And when that blast goes outwards, it actually pushes on the magnetosphere, which causes it to fluctuate because it's trying to get back to that normal shape around the Earth. And the magnetosphere is important. Obviously, it protects us from things in space and many other things. But what's happening is as it's fluctuating, it's actually creating a low and slow charge at the ground level of the Earth. And this is the third phase of an EMP. Generally, this is where the grid is going to be affected if it was not already destroyed from the E1 or the E2. This E3 portion, third phase, the grid, which is miles, 10 miles, hundreds of miles long, because of the length and the size, is capable of inducing this low and slow charge, which is building over time. So at an hour, it's starting to build. At a couple hours and several hours later, it's reaching a level of charge which is detrimental to the grid. And so basically what's happening is at a certain duration of time, when that charge is met and it's a dangerous level, portions of the grid are then being destroyed. You've got portions of substations which are not meant to handle that are then destroyed. Transformers and many other critical things inside the grid are then destroyed. And what this means is you no longer have energy going into your house, on top of the fact that you no longer have any devices, or the majority of them that have microelectronics are then destroyed. So this is a highly devastating weapon. It's important to understand that the EMP itself is so high, you're probably not going to see it. It's 300 miles above the Earth. To give you an idea, that's roughly the height of the International Space Station. So this nuclear weapon is going to go off. You're probably not even going to see it. You're not going to have any warning because it happens immediately. And then after it goes off, your way of life as you know it changes. This is not to scare you, but it is to let you understand that this is a very real event, that the weapons already exist. In fact, they've been around since the 1960s, since it was actually discovered in 1962 during an Operation Starfish Prime, which was run by the United States military. And the other thing to understand about an EMP is the effects of an EMP. So that energy coming down towards the Earth from the EMP is it's not going to physically hurt you in any way. It's going to destroy electronics. So the reality of this is, and this is why our adversaries almost prefer to use these types of weapons, is because they feel their people would feel better about using them also, not only because there's mass chaos and mass devastation, but also because there's no initial loss of life. But that's not to say there isn't loss of life, because we know that up to 90% of the population, or even more, will potentially be dead after an EMP, because you are no longer going to have running water. You're no longer going to have access to food. You're no longer going to have the ability to have logistics and things transported from point A to point B, because all of the vehicles on the road are destroyed. And this is very important to know, because your way of life is going to completely change. There's no more using your cell phone. There's no longer a World Wide Web. Your computers don't even work, let alone the internet itself. And so, Stan, that's kind of a very general overview of an EMP. And yes, sir.
Okay, now let me jump in here with a question here. All right,
Yes,
so how does your device, let's say it's mounted on a car, let's talk car first, mounted on a car, so the EMP comes down and it fries all the other computer chips of the other cars around you, but it doesn't touch yours.
Yes, sir.
How does it stop that charge?
Yeah, that's an excellent question. And so just for people that are unaware of EMP Shield, number one, we do have a myriad of products. So we protect many vehicles. In fact, that is one of our best sellers, and I highly recommend it. We also can protect homes, solar systems, generators. We have a device for pretty much any application. But in the vehicle model, the way it works is it actually installs to your battery, because that is the easiest point of entry for any person to be able to install it, and installs in about 5 minutes. Anybody can do it. It also has a connection to the ground or chassis of your vehicle, and that's important as well, as I'll explain. So what it's doing is it's passively monitoring the electrical system of your vehicle, because in an EMP, it's going to induce simultaneously into that vehicle. So it's going to hit the frame and then induce it and find its way in. It's important to understand that as the electrical system in a vehicle rises and falls, it does almost principally rise and fall simultaneously, to include all of the electronics connected to it. And so if you look at a military standard, which we've tested to, military certified testing, which is military standard 188.125.1, it actually outlines exactly how you should do it. And it says that you should be able to pull 5,000 amps in 20 nanoseconds. We're actually able to pull up to 228,000 amps, and we can do it in about half of a nanosecond, which is 500 trillionths of a second. And so the next question, which normally arises in, well, Andrew, so you've got this technology, you've invented it, you've done the military certified testing, which we've done through several organizations, to include through a place called Meditech, which is run by the U.S. EMP Commission's former senior leader, Bill Radowski.
So it's solid.
It's been tested by the guy who ran the U.S. EMP Commission, Bill Radowski. It's solid. It's the testing's there. Is why we do government work as well.
Okay, so does it break a circuit? As in, if it were to get hit with 2 or 3 over 30 days, it's not done after just one, like a fuse going off.
It's not. So the first thing to understand, the way that it works, in a house, what it does is it's pulling the differential or the potential between lines and pulling it to ground. In a vehicle, there's no ground, and I get this question a lot. So the way we've designed it to work, and it works incredibly well, is you have 2 systems. So you've got the electrical system and the chassis. And so what we do is we pull it from the electrical system and we cycle it to the chassis. And then we do that knowing that it's going to find its way back into the electrical system. But we actually shunt or cycle this energy incredibly, almost unfathomable rates of speed. So starting at around 500 trillionths of a second and then continuing it at that speed, we are cycling the energy between electrical system to chassis, and it's dissipating every time that it's cycling between.
So it's almost like it's just a dead ground right into the ground.
That's right. And we're just cycling.
Now, now the house, how does the house work? How's that different?
Yes, sir. So the house is actually an easier concept. The vehicle took us quite a while to figure out the solution. We're very happy we found it. The house is generally the same, as the energy in the house is rising and falling. It's all inducing simultaneously. But when we see that rise in energy go above a critical threshold in the house, whether it's induced into your toaster, whether it's induced in the electrical system, or induced simultaneously, which is actually going to happen, we see that energy because we're passively monitoring. It rises, and then we pull the energy from the system faster than the damage can occur, which is outlined in the military standards. We pull it and we push it then to the ground wire of the home, which is incredible. It's a very good place to very quickly take that energy and put it straight to ground, a safe place away from the home as fast as possible. That device also begins shunting, or it activates in around 500 trillionths of a second.
Okay. Now, I know you have videos because I watched them. As a matter of fact, I can tell everybody, look, I'm a prophecy guy. I am not a mechanic. I'm not an electrician. And so maybe I'm the perfect dumb guy to tell people just how easy it is to put this in. So count to 3. Okay. So you got 3 fingers. We got a red one, we got a black one, we got a green one. Okay. We got 3 wires. You take those 3 wires and you put this red to the red on the battery. You put the black to the black on the battery. You put the green to the ground. Now I'm talking about the car. And it took me all about 10 minutes. Matter of fact, I'm sorry, I didn't even watch all the video because I said, okay, I can do this. So when I did it, both cars probably took 10, 15 minutes. Now, the house, this is, like big. Do I need to call an electrician? No. I did have to go down and buy another $20 breaker, but it showed me basically black to black, black to black, green to green, just plug it in, screw it in, pop it in, another 10-minute job. Now, you may be saying, why get the car? Okay, well, first of all, we've heard, if you've listened to the broadcast for a while, you know, we've got several prophecies of people that have seen dreams, seen visions, where all of a sudden, all of the cars in the area, if they have an electronic lock on it, like the new ones do, where you walk up and some of the cars just open the car door, you don't have to touch anything. Some of them you got to push a little button to make it. But if you're electronic, forget it. Yeah, the car's not even going to unlock for you. Second thing is if you get in, you turn it and it goes, and you go, and it nothing. There's no click. There's no nothing. It's just dead, and it's not going to come back to life. There is no resuscitation. You can fix it. You would have to replace every computer chip in that car. Again, I'm not an automobile manufacturer, but I think I'm correct in saying you would basically have to pull out the entire wire harness and put in a new one. It's not just, okay, we'll pull out the old chip, put in the new chip. It all has to be replaced. Every computer chip in there is fried. It's dead. So basically that car is dead. Bury it. It's gone. But for, you know, a couple of $100, you can save that car. Now to the house. Okay. So if your house gets fried, now think about this. It's not just your computer chip. It's your computer, but I mean, it's also your refrigerator. Everything electronic that has electronic chipping, TVs, cell phones, there's a possibility that the cell phone might not be affected, but if you can't get electricity for it, it's only going to last a couple of days. And if the electricity grid goes down in a couple of days, the frozen things in your refrigerator reach room temperature, and it's happy days for a couple of days. Eat all you can, because in a couple of days you'll be throwing it out.
Yes, sir.
All of this can be avoided with a simple trip to empshield.com. Be sure and use the word prophecy, PROPHECY. Is that correct?
That's correct. Yes, sir. So to kind of caveat on, as you explained, it was well explained. So why do you want a vehicle to run after an EMP? Well, a vehicle is a tool. It's the winter right now while we're filming this. You know, it's January, and imagine that you're 100 miles from home and you're in the middle of a snowstorm or a blizzard having to get home after almost apocalyptic event. It's going to be virtually impossible. Most people couldn't walk 100 miles in a very nice day. Right. And that's just one scenario, or not even just yourself. Imagine your loved one or your spouse or your child, your child that's at college having to get home when they don't have a vehicle. It's not a good scenario, and that's just the vehicle. And it's the same concept for your home. You need to have home protection. Yes, you're probably not going to have the internet. It's going to all be destroyed. But, you know, having basic things like a refrigerator that's operational. I mean, keeping your food stored, just very basic life-saving, or not even, necessities to keep you alive. It's critical. And we do offer that military certified solution. And there's people that have backup power systems, which I highly recommend people look into as well. You know, if you've got a generator, if you've got a solar system, or you've got a windmill or water power, get that protected too, because then you're going to have a functional home. You're going to have your own power system. It's going to be like not much really happened as far as electricity goes. And it's important to have that protection, especially starting on the vehicle.
So bottom line is, go to empshield.com, put in the promo code prophecy, and I think they get a discount or something like that. What is that? Yes,
sir. So actually, I've been following your show for quite a while. I wanted to make sure that the people that are a part of the Prophecy Club got a good deal. So I've actually given you the largest discount that I offer for
2 thumbs up.
Yes, sir. It is actually $50 off per product. So for a family, if you have 2 cars, you're going to save $100 just right there by using that coupon code prophecy, which when you're in your cart, there's a little section that just says enter coupon code. Just type in prophecy. I believe it's down on the screen, and hit enter or hit the apply button, and it's going to put it right in your cart for you. You're going to save a tremendous amount of money. And this discount is on top of any sale prices that we already have. So whatever the sale price is currently, you can add this coupon code on top of that. So you could save hundreds of dollars by doing this. And I'm doing this because I really want to help as many people as possible. This is a tremendous threat to the United States, and people need to wake up. They need to understand this threat is real. And I'm glad that we're able to be on here to help get people this protection.
Okay. So we go to empshield.com, empshield.com, promo code prophecy.
Yes, sir.
And my suggestion is you get 1 device for each one of your cars, and then at least one for your home.
Yes, sir.
So if you have 2 cars, you get 2 car devices. If you have 1 home, you get 1. If you have 2 homes or 3 homes,
But
get them installed quickly. I picture a time, and of course, I know that some of us aren't that big in survival, but I know a lot of us, if not all of us, are very interested in helping others and, of course, winning people to the Lord. So, as they say, in the land of the blind, the one-eyed man is king. So when no one else's car starts and yours does, everyone else's lights are out and you still have lights. Guess who is going to be coming? And they're going to be looking for someone to help them. Now, I know you're going to be thinking, well, evil people, we can't worry about that. We've got to be there and be ready to help those people. This will help you to stay prepared so that you can be, as Coverstone said, one of those encouragers in the crowd with crosses around them, running around giving out hope. This is going to help you to give out hope. Go to empshield.com, put in the promo code prophecy, and get these installed. 10 minutes a car. So if you got 2 cars in the house, 30 minutes. They got videos. You watch. Again, I didn't have to watch all the video. I just watched part of it. I got it. I can do this thing. So if I can do it, you can do it. Anything else, Andrew?
Not really, sir. It is very easy to install. On the home, if you're not certified to do it, be careful. We do recommend an electrician because we don't want anybody to get hurt. Like you said, though, 90% of our folks do end up doing it themselves. It's incredibly simple. Just be careful. If you're not certified, I recommend an electrician. But if you're capable, you'll see the instructions. It is very easy.
When you see the instructions, they'll probably say, "Yeah,
oh yeah." Now the vehicle. And we, just so people know as well, give us a call here at EMP Shield. I've got an entire staff. We've got 70 folks here. It's 100% American made right here in Burlington, Kansas. We're sitting next to 3 cornfields, and we've got 20,000 feet of manufacturing here, hand built right here in Kansas. And you give us a call if you have questions. In fact, we just walked a 70-year-old lady through an installation just a couple days ago, and it took 10 minutes. It is very simple to install.
Okay, Andrew Bucchin, thank you for being on the Prophecy Club.
Thank you, Stan.
All right. So once again, you go to empshield.com, empshield.com, and you put in the promo code prophecy, empshield.com, and you go to promo code prophecy. One more time, empshield.com, promo code prophecy. God bless. 40 books, $800 value for $100. Secret Door to Understand Bible Prophecy is a deep dive into Bible prophecy. Miss the Mark is the book you give to people that you never want to take the mark of the beast. God's Warnings to America's 101 modern prophecies, everything from Dimitri Duduman to rest of the most popular, the most credible prophets out there. Tribulation Secrets and Daniel is the book that you read to understand, as a tribulation saint, what you need to know. And then How Pre-Trib Won, you'll settle your question about the rapture. Now, you can get all 5 of these in a giant package. We offer them in shrink-wrap sets. Shrink-wrap sets of 10 for the Understand Bible Prophecy. Miss the Mark is in shrink-wrap sets of 10. God's Warning is shrink-wrap sets of 10. Daniel is 5. How Pre-Trib Won is 5. So it's a total of 40 books, valued at $800, all for a gift of just $100 at prophecyclub.com.
I encourage you to sign up for Train the Prophets training class that will be April the 21st to April the 24th, 2022. It's not just for prophets, nor is it just for apostles. It's for all those that are called to be in ministry. So that's April the 21st to April the 24th, 2022. Go to traintheprophets.com. Sign up quickly because there is a limited seating.
Terry Saka is a prophecy student, and he reads his King James Bible, and he believes in winning souls so much he is supporting the Prophecy Club so that we can win more souls. So if you want to support someone that loves prophecy and wants to win souls, I'm going to send you to cornerstoneassetmetals.com, where you can get all sorts of precious metals, gold, silver, rhodium, palladium, and things like that. cornerstoneassetmetals.com. So what we're asking you to do today is to get this book in DVD. Now, hang on. I'm going to put a challenge out there. I've had several emails come to me lately, and people will be repenting. I've been watching you for years, and I never sent a donation until right now, and oh, I'm really sorry. I know I should have a long time ago, but anyway, here's my donation. So let me first speak to all of the people that have never supported this ministry. I'm going to ask you this time to consider supporting it. And it's not about money. I want to get you excited about proving that the Bible is true. I think you will be so amazed by this book. It's book and DVD. This book is just high. Well, here's the picture of what we were just talking about. High quality, full color photographs, 8.5 by 11, big. I mean, really nice stuff. And when I saw this book, I said, I got to have it. I got to have it because I've been there. I mean, Leslie and I've been there. We know this stuff's true. We've been there. You know, we got our own photographs, a lot of this stuff. This, if we really are in the last days, and I think we both believe we are, then, see, God has put archaeological evidence into the earth to convince those people that will be convinced. Some people you never convince. And what this book and DVD are is giving you the ability to put in your hands the ability to explain the validity and the truth of the Bible. Now, here's what we're asking, okay? So the book is $75, but you can buy your $3,000 airline ticket. You can go to Turkey. You can go to Israel. You can spend $4,000 or $5,000 looking for this stuff. You won't find it. You will not find them. I'm telling you right now. You will not find the things that are in this book because you won't have God guiding you and directing you. Some places you can't even get into today. So for $75 for that book, bargain. Bargain. It's about winning souls. Now this is a 3.5-hour double DVD. That's only one disc. It's not 2 discs. It's 1 disc. But it's a double layer. It's 3.5 hours. And this explains the things that are in the book. So you need both. Don't think about getting one or the other. Get both. So we're doing this. The DVD is $50. The book is $75, but you can get both of them for a $100 donation at prophecyclub.com. Now, I got the box behind me to show you. We just got them in. We just got them in at the warehouse, and we are all ready to ship book and DVD. All you got to do is go to prophecyclub.com and place your order, and if you want to, you can even have them overnighted to you. The good news is EMP Shield has devices the military testing facility says protect 100% against EMP, solar flares, lightning, power surges, backed by a 10-year warranty and a $25,000 insurance policy. View simple video installation instructions for home, vehicles, RV. You can have electricity in a blackout. Use the promo code PROPHECY for a $50 gift card, and it helps your profit. Click like, share, subscribe, and send to a friend.